Hey, my little Manhwa population family. We're picking up right where we left off in the last video. So without wasting any time, let's jump straight into it. In the last chapter, our protagonist took down a monster and then turned to his teammates with a confident thumbs up. Keep up with me. I've gotten used to speed races lately. I can't wait to see the bonus. Moments later, the rest of the team rushed toward other monsters, with one of them shouting to the group, "There's another one behind the three. And a weakened monster over there. Take care of it." Then, one of the team members, a Bao user, pulled back his arrow while observing the fight. That level 9 warrior is insanely strong. He was a level 15 wind archer with a combat power of 6,230, yet even he was impressed. Without even glancing at his teammates, he continued, "Isn't he clearing this quest solo?" He charged in alone and is casually cutting down all the small fry. Meanwhile, our protagonist was in full beast mode, effortlessly slicing through any monster in his way as he rushed deeper into the forest. Seeing this, another teammate couldn't help but comment, "He even knows which monsters give the best points." It's hard to believe he's only level 9. A blonde-haired girl, battling monsters nearby, also took notice. And he doesn't need healing at all. This makes things so much easier. High up in a tree, one of the beastmen turned to the arrogant warrior from earlier and asked, "Captain, you have a lot of connections, right? Who is that guy? With skills like that, he must be famous." Without even looking his way, the captain replied, "Not necessarily. I just know too many people to remember them all. Even the ones introduced to me by the information broker at the tavern were people I already knew. That warrior must be an elite from a major guild. He does look familiar, but maybe I just forgot." Meanwhile, our protagonist was battling monsters on the front lines, deep in thought. Regular questions. Nothing compares to the difficulty of the dark area. The experience points here are a lot more than in the original world, but they still don't match up to the dark area. Even these level 16 small fry are faster than the level 11 monsters back there, but they don't seem to have even half the strength of those darkness monsters. Just then, a new tree monster appeared before him, a level 16 creature with a weakness, fire attribute. It attacked using vines and had poisonous thorns. Tsuyoshi observed it carefully and thought, "As long as I stay cautious of the poison thorns, this thing isn't much of a threat. The divine eye lets me see all monster weaknesses. But is there more I can do with it?" Without hesitation, he cut down the tree monster with a single strike. As it fell, another thought crossed his mind. This quest involves collecting blood roses. Maybe I could take some back as a souvenir for the cabins. Right then, a notification popped up, displaying a rose icon with a sign on top. It read, "Blood rose, a rare medicinal material. When added to medicine, it greatly enhances recovery effects. Highly valued by shamans and potion makers, making it consistently expensive in the market." After taking in the information, Tsuyoshi turned to his teammates and announced, "Everyone, the boss fight is coming up soon. The small fry are increasing. These monsters are weak to fire. Can the magicians use fire-type magic to attack?" Hearing this, one of the team members, possibly the captain, gripped his staff tightly, nodded, and shouted, "Yes, right away." Internally, he thought, "Finally, it's my time to shine." Tsuyoshi, still focused ahead, warned, "Watch out for the vines. They have poisonous thorns. If you get hit, you'll be poisoned." The rest of the team turned to face the tree monsters with sudden concern, their minds racing. How does he know so much about these monsters at just level 9? He shouldn't have this much experience. I saw his level earlier, but he must be hiding his true abilities. Moments later, all the mage class members activated their magic, launching a coordinated fire attack on the tree monsters, incinerating them instantly. Later that night, the group set up camp in the forest, sitting together around the fire. The archer from earlier spoke up. "Everything is going smoothly. Mr. Warrior is so strong. This quest will probably end without any issues." Hearing this, the beastman from before smirked and said, "You've started addressing him respectfully as Mr. Warrior now." The blonde-haired girl, slightly blushing, added, "He feels different from the people in this world. He must be someone special." Meanwhile, Deeper in the forest, the captain and Tsuyoshi stood facing each other, shaking hands. The captain held onto his grip and said, "For someone this skilled, I really want to know your identity." Tsuyoshi, rubbing the back of his head, responded, No, I'm just a newbie adventurer." The captain, with a teasing smirk, replied, "A newbie? Sure, let's go with that for now." Feeling slightly defeated, Tsuyoshi mumbled under his breath, "But it's true." The captain then handed him a water skin and asked, "By the way, do you know the quest ranking for this region?" Tsuyoshi took a sip before replying, "Quest ranking? Not really. Why do you ask?" The captain, keeping his playful tone, said, "Oh, you don't. You're probably just pretending, right?" But then, he shifted into a more serious demeanor and explained, "These quest points are different from those that disappear after a certain time. Each region has fixed quest points. The scale varies, but the quest rankings record completion data for parties. They also track first completions and top performances for each quest." He continued, "In other words, they offer not just business opportunities but also fame. The rankings are shared across all regional branches of the Adventurers Guild and are accessible to anyone. You can bring fame to your guild or party this way." Taking in the information, Tsuyoshi looked at the captain with a serious expression and said, "I see. I mostly get it. So what's your point?" Internally, he thought, "There was a similar system in my original world, so it exists here too." Seeing Tsuyoshi's confusion, the captain elaborated further. "This group of 4 might seem randomly put together, but in reality, I'm part of Q's guild under the elite party of 15 pioneers known as the Big God Party. Our captain is one of the guild's founders, a shield warrior nicknamed Big Goat Harvey." Tsuyoshi turned to the captain, dumbfounded. He blinked before responding, "I see. I mostly get it. So what's your point?" The captain continued explaining, "Well, recently, a new level 18 quest appeared. It involves a small dark area with monsters hidden in the swamp. These creatures are extremely troublesome due to a lack of sufficient information. You seem knowledgeable about monsters. You might actually be a huge help in clearing it." Hearing this, Tsuyoshi clenched his fists in excitement. The captain, equally fired up, added, "Not to mention, top performances are recorded simultaneously, and completing it first gives a substantial bonus. That's why competitive parties race to clear fixed quests before anyone else. If you're interested, why not meet our captain?" Tsuyoshi silently studied the captain for a moment, deep in thought. "Until I get the items I need to level up, this could be a good alternative," he mused. Then, placing a hand on his waist, he smirked and said, "Even though I'm only level 9, you still want me to participate in a level 18 quest?" The captain confidently raised a hand and reassured him, "Yes, no need to worry. There are various quests, and the required levels differ. For this one, only adventurers up to level 18 are allowed to participate." "There's no problem." Tsuyoshi nodded. "That's good to hear. Then, I'll lend a hand. But I have 2 conditions." The captain's eyes widened in shock. "Conditions? As long as they're not unreasonable, I'll do what I can. I'll even arrange special compensation. Just tell me." Internally, he thought, "It seems he trusts me now. If he joins and provides information on the darkness monsters, it'll give us an advantage for the first completion. That'll be credited to me, boosting my standing within the guild." Tsuyoshi, maintaining his usual composed demeanor, laid out his terms. "First, if we clear the quest, I get all the initial experience points I need. Second, I get first pick of the bonus rewards. Of course, once I've chosen, the rest is yours. What do you say?" The captain's face twisted into an awkward expression. "That's unreasonable. Even if I agree, the captain and the other members might not allow it. I'll need to ask." Without missing a beat, Tsuyoshi turned toward the rest of the team, signaling it was time to move. "Then let's talk again once this quest is finished. We've rested enough, let's move out." Sometime later, Tsuyoshi and his team emerged from a gate. From behind him, a teammate called out, "It's clear." Another one chimed in, "The captain's final fire-type magic, Grand Explosion, hitting the boss's weak spot was insane." The blonde girl added, "Well, the boss's attribute weakness was fire, so it went smoothly. But if Tsuyoshi hadn't been here, I wouldn't have been able to time my attack properly. It took me over 10 seconds just to align my aim with the weak spot. The captain, rubbing the back of his head awkwardly, turned to Tsuyoshi. On top of that, you told us everything, the boss's weak spot, its attribute weakness, how to defeat it, and even what to watch out for. You're incredible, Tsuyoshi. Tsuyoshi, holding the blood rose in his hand, responded casually, I got my share of the blood roses, so divide the rest among yourselves. The captain nodded and looked at the rest of the team. All right, let's disband for now. I'll distribute the bonus and final rewards later. Everyone agreed. Thank you, before parting ways. The captain then turned back to Tsuyoshi, eyes gleaming with excitement. Do you have time? I'd like to thank you properly and introduce you to Captain Harvey. Tsuyoshi paused. Wait, let me inform my comrade first. Sometime later, Sakura gently pressed a handkerchief to Tsuyoshi's forehead. To be called into a party so quickly. That's amazing. It took me until level 30 to even get invited. Concern flickered in her eyes as she added softly, Take care. Okay? This will be valuable experience. I'll gather information in the nearby town and report back once I return. Tsuyoshi took a small bag from her and nodded. That would be helpful. If you can't find me, let's meet at the Adventurers Guild in this area. Sakura handed him a few potions and some money. In that case, here, this should last you 3 days. Tsuyoshi waved as he walked away. Thanks. All right, I'm off. Sakura waved back with a bright smile. Good luck. But as soon as he disappeared from sight, her expression darkened into something more serious. This is perfect, she thought. I need to investigate more about that genius, Kevin. If he's already mastered the Earth-Wind fusion law, my plan to kill him might need some adjustments. With that, she turned and walked away. Sometime later, inside a dimly lit tavern, a man placed his beer glass down on the table with a dull thud. A level 9 warrior. And 2 additional conditions? Victor, are you serious? This man was none other than Captain Harvey, Big Goat Harvey, a level 18, class-grade shield warrior with a combat power of 7,600. He stared at the captain before him and scoffed. A level 9 warrior is going to lead my elite party? Our average level is 16. Don't joke around. The captain, looking panicked, quickly defended his claim. But he's really amazing. Thanks to him, we obtained the blood roses without any issues. A red-armored warrior nearby sneered. A level 9 warrior? He couldn't even qualify to carry our sandals. You must have lost your mind hanging around those idiots outside. This man was Luke, the sharp-tongued vice-captain, a level 17, class-grade blazing dual-blade warrior with a combat power of 6,930. Luke scoffed again. So what, Victor? Does this mean you can't keep up with the Big Go party anymore? Don't waste our time. Victor clenched his fists and shot them a firm look. It's true. If you don't believe me, meet him for yourself. Captain Harvey, without even turning his head, simply said, Is he here? The captain turned to Captain Harvey with excitement. Yes, I brought him. He's waiting outside the entrance. Hearing this, the red-armored warrior sneered. You must be fearless to bring someone like that here. This time, the captain's expression darkened as he snapped. Enough. Frustration boiled inside him. You've always looked down on me, but this time, I'll prove you wrong. Captain Harvey, still not looking at them, simply said, All right, let's meet him. The captain nodded. Thank you. Then, without wasting another second, he led Tsuyoshi toward Captain Harvey. This way, he gestured. As they approached, Tsuyoshi rubbed the back of his head, looking slightly confused. I'm Tsuyoshi, a level 9 warrior. Nice to meet you. Silence fell over the room. All eyes turned toward him. Then, the red-armored warrior burst out laughing, pointing at him mockingly. Ha! Just look at him. He screams weakling. The captain quickly reassured Tsuyoshi. Ignore him. At that moment, Captain Harvey finally turned his attention to Tsuyoshi. So, according to Victor, you can clear this new quest for us. Is that right? If that's true, how confident are you? Tsuyoshi met his gaze and replied firmly, I'm 100% confident. Captain Harvey raised an eyebrow. 100%, huh? Then what's the additional condition? With a determined and almost arrogant smirk, Tsuyoshi declared, Let me be in charge. I will be your captain." Hearing Tsuyoshi words, the entire room fell into silence. Captain Harvey turned to him, his gaze sharp and intense. "You want to be the captain? Command 15 elite members." The red-armored warrior's face twisted in anger. "Hey, have you lost your damn mind? This man here is Big Goat Captain Harvey. Our party has some of the most renowned members around. Don't make me laugh." Even the captain who had been hyping up Tsuyoshi started sweating. In a shaky voice, he whispered, "Tsuyoshi becoming the captain? That's absurd." Tsuyoshi, completely unfazed, simply replied, "It's for the quest. Don't worry." Captain Harvey placed his beer glass on the table, his expression unreadable. Other parties have attempted this quest multiple times. Most failed at the same spot. "We failed 6 times already." He continued, "Each attempt eats up potions and items. The more people involved, the higher the cost. We've already spent over 2 gold coins on this." Tsuyoshi smirked. "So, it's about big money? Then let me make it simple. Appoint me as captain, and I'll guarantee we clear the quest." The red-armored warrior's fury exploded. He's got the nerve to say that. Another warrior, just as pissed, clenched his fists. "Captain, let's just punch this guy already." But Captain Harvey, surprisingly calm, gave his verdict. "All right, I'll accept your 3 conditions." He leaned in slightly, his voice dropping. "But if you fail, and it turns out to be all talk, I, Harvey, the Big Goat, will show you no mercy." The red-armored warrior's eyes widened. "Captain, are you serious?" Tsuyoshi crossed his arms confidently. "Relax. If we work together, we'll clear it easily." The red-armored warrior was fuming, pointing a shaking finger at Tsuyoshi. "Captain, do you really trust this guy? What can a level 9 weakling even do?" Captain Harvey exhaled sharply. "Do we have another option?" The room fell silent again. Harvey's voice was like iron. "Without him, we're not trying again today. Simple as that." The red-armored warrior started to panic. But making him captain? He's level 9. He's obviously just joined. We, the Big Goat, have been struggling, and now Victor, that little brat, got tricked too. He's not suited for our party. We should kick him out right away." Captain Harvey turned to him, his eyes dark with frustration. "Do you know how much we've been laughed at in the guild?" He continued, voice heavy with irritation. "It's because we've got nothing to show for ourselves. We've been outdone by other parties." His fist clenched. "If we secure first clear and best performance on this new quest, the reputation will belong to us. There's no other way right now. Even if there's only a small chance, we take it." His voice dropped into something dangerously cold. "And if this is a scam, I, Harvey, won't let that guy off easily." In front of the quest point, a crowd had gathered. "Hey, is that the Big Goat?" someone whispered. "Are they actually attempting the new quest today?" Another voice chimed in. "Probably, and they'll be retreating with the return horn as usual." A third person pointed. "Wait, who's that? Weird outfit. Looks like they changed their leader." Tsuyoshi confidently walked at the front of the Big Goat team, heading straight for the quest portal. Among the spectators, a beastman werewolf scoffed, his sharp eyes locking onto Tsuyoshi. "Huh, so Big Goat really changed their leader, acting all high and mighty without any strength. At this rate, they won't even be able to afford their meals. Spend your money wisely." One of the captains from earlier whispered in Tsuyoshi's ear. "That guy's the captain of another party. He's always seen us as rivals. But to be honest, he's not entirely wrong. Losing repeatedly has left us broke. That's why Captain Harvey and the rest of us are under so much pressure." Hearing those words, the entire Big Goat team looked gloomy, avoiding eye contact with the crowd. The captain sighed. "Lately, our party situation has been rough." Tsuyoshi, with a confident grin, shrugged. "All right, I get it." Then, without hesitation, he shoulder-checked the werewolf captain while passing by. "Oops, sorry for getting in your way." The werewolf bared his fangs. "TCH, Harvey, your new leader looks full of himself." He smirked, arms crossed. "Wonder if he'll have that same attitude when you retreat with the return horn again?" Just before entering the portal, Tsuyoshi turned back, eyes sharp. "Whether we get the first clear or not, we'll find out soon enough. All right, everyone, let's begin." Stepping through the portal, Tsuyoshi recalled Victor's words in his mind. This quest involves an unknown group of darkness-type monsters in the swamp. They're said to be a nightmare to deal with. But Tsuyoshi's grin widened. With my divine eye? No problem. I'll give them a stronger than expected first clear performance. Then, a new notification appeared before him. Welcome to the West Shadow of the Swamp Level 18 quest. Shadow of the Swamp Party Condition. 12 to 17 members member level must not exceed 18 as the party arrived inside. Captain Harvey immediately turned to Tsuyoshi. So, what's the plan? Tsuyoshi placed his hand on his waist, brimming with confidence. First, let's confirm, am I getting all the initial experience points? Harvey nodded. Yeah, for us, the party's honor is more important. As long as we get the first clear, it doesn't matter. But don't disappoint us, you've seen it yourself. We're desperate for results. Making you captain is a huge gamble on my part. If we fail, Harvey's eyes turn cold. You better be prepared for the consequences. Looking at the system panel in front of him, Tsuyoshi smirked. Understood. Harvey turned to the team. All right, everyone, prepare yourselves and listen to his instructions. Tsuyoshi cracked his knuckles. Got it. Let's do this. But the red-armored warrior clenched his fists, gritting his teeth. I can't believe we're letting this guy take all the experience points. Just wait and see. Meanwhile, Tsuyoshi lifted his massive sword onto his shoulder and thought. All right, next up, death mode begins. He selected hard mode on the system panel. A new notification flashed in front of everyone. Hard mode, selected quest difficulty, is divided into normal mode and hard mode. In hard mode, all rewards, including EXP, are tripled. The entire team froze. Hard mode, Captain Harvey shouted, his eyes wide with shock. One of the warriors gasped. Why the hell would you do that? Another stammered. It must be a mistake, right? A bald warrior turned pale. Hard mode is suicide. Victor, sweating bullets, looked at Tsuyoshi. Did you mess up? I told you. Hard mode shouldn't even be activated unless you're completely familiar with the quest. You didn't, right? The red-armored warrior exploded in rage. You idiot! No one has cleared normal mode yet. Hard mode is several levels more difficult. Are you trying to kill us? He clenched his teeth, thinking, what a fool. I was just waiting for a chance to call him out, and now he's handed it to me. He really messed up. Grinning, he pulled out a return horn. That's it. We're out. We'll have to waste this valuable item just to escape from hard mode. But better than dying. We've been tricked by that bastard. But before he could activate it, Tsuyoshi suddenly rushed toward the forest. If I brought you here, I also have a plan to get you back out. Stick with me. He smirked, eyes gleaming. Hard mode or not, it doesn't matter. With my divine eye and this many people, we might clear it without a single injury. The red-armored warrior, still fuming, shouted after him. Stop making empty promises. You've dragged us into this mess. Do you even understand that people could die? This isn't a game. If you want to die, do it alone. Ignoring him, Tsuyoshi activated his divine eye. His vision pierced through the swamp, analyzing everything instantly. Just as expected, since this is a swamp, it's a wetland area. That means the small fry enemies here are weak to lightning. Suddenly, the shadows of countless monsters appeared ahead. Fongkroks, level 18. Their weaknesses flashed before Tsuyoshi's eyes. Weakness. Lightning-based attacks, fire attacks, exploiting water conductivity. A sharp grin spread across his face. Then our protagonist forms a grin on his face, thinking, if I concentrate, I can enhance my divine eye even further. Seeing our protagonist approaching the monsters, the red-armored warrior gets scared and shouts, Hey, that fool is charging in. That's a hard mode, Fongkrok. There's so many of them. It's over. We're done for. Even Captain Harvey looks a little doubtful, but he grips his shield tightly, stepping forward toward the monsters. He mutters, Did he really come to save us after all? Standing in front of the monsters, our protagonist looks toward Captain Harvey and commands, Follow me. I will lead you in clearing this hard mode. The members of the team hesitate, slightly scared, standing frozen in place. But our protagonist, standing boldly in front of all the monsters, raises his sword and shouts again. Stop standing around. Fire magicians, get ready. Hearing that, Victor wipes the sweat off his face and mutters, All right, fine. I'm going all in. I will trust you. Then, gripping his staff tightly, he steps forward and shouts, Fire magicians, come with me. If we run away now, we'll just be laughed at. Hearing that, the other party members feel a mix of anger and motivation. One clenches his fists and shouts, I will do it. Another one joins in, saying, Yeah, no way am I going to be humiliated. Meanwhile, the monsters charge toward our protagonist, their jaws wide open. Captain Harvey's eyes widen in panic as he shouts, Kid, get out of there. 6 Fawn Crocs are coordinating their bite attack. You'll be torn to pieces. But our protagonist remains unfazed. Swinging his sword, he commands, Fire magicians, concentrate all your firepower and attack exactly 1 meter in front of me. The magicians quickly prepare their attack and respond, Got it. Then they unleash their fire magic exactly where our protagonist instructed. Flames engulf the attacking monsters, and Victor's eyes widen in shock. 6 enemies, taken out simultaneously. What just happened? Standing confidently, our protagonist slightly turns back to his team and explains, My skill, Thunder Chainfall, inflicts a weakening status on these enemies. When they're weakened, any active skills they use get interrupted. Moreover, while they are weakened, any attack inflicts double damage. Since you all combined your fire magic at a single point, the attribute damage was multiplied, making it easier to take them down. Thinking to himself, our protagonist smirks, all thanks to divine eye analysis. Hearing his explanation, the party members feel a surge of excitement. One of them exclaims, What the? How did you come up with such a strategy so quickly? Another shouts, We might actually be able to clear this quest. A third one adds, using their weaknesses to interrupt skills and dealing massive fire magic damage. It's so precise. Victor, eyes sparkling with excitement, clenches his fists and shouts, He pulled it off again, just like the last quest. With that analysis, I knew he could do it. Seeing this, Captain Harvey stands in stunned silence, deep in thought. He's level 9. With that kind of skill, who is he? Meanwhile, the red-armored warrior, who had been doubting our protagonist, stares at him in disbelief. Trembling, he falls backward, tumbling onto the ground and muttering, It's just luck. That's all it is. There's no way anyone could analyze the situation so perfectly under these circumstances. A nearby party member glances at him and sighs, Vice Captain, that's why he's so amazing. Everyone saw it with their own eyes. Why are you being so dramatic? Victor, irritated by the red-armored warrior's attitude, snaps, Why don't you just shut up? Dragging us down is embarrassing. Hearing that, the red-armored warrior clenches his fists in anger and shouts, What did you say? But before the argument can escalate, our protagonist steps forward with confidence and commands, Enough of this. We don't have time to argue with someone like him. Everyone follow me. We are going to conquer hard mode. With that, our protagonist strides toward the depths of the forest. Captain Harvey, snapping back to reality, quickly runs after him and calls out, Didn't you hear me? Hearing Harvey's call, the rest of the party rushes after our protagonist, leaving the red-armored warrior behind. In frustration, he shouts, Wait for me. Sometime later, as the party marches side by side, Captain Harvey grips his shield tightly and looks toward our protagonist. Then, he says, Follow Captain Tsuyoshi. Let's conquer hard mode. 30 minutes later, at the shadow of Swamp Quest, our protagonist and his team hide in the bushes. Victor, wearing an awkward expression, turns to our protagonist and says, It looks like all the other parties have been defeated in the swamp ahead. What should we do now? As always, the red-armored warrior gets irritated and snaps. The monsters here are darkness type, and this is hard mode. This is nothing like what we've dealt with before. I'm not sure where you got your information from, but if we fail here because of you, the party won't let it slide. Hearing that, Victor gets irritated and shouts back, Hey, it's thanks to his sources and analysis that we've barely taken any damage up until now, isn't it? This kind of feat was impossible before. Don't you see how incredible that is? How can you even say that? The red-armored warrior gets even angrier and fires back. Victor, don't forget that I'm the vice captain. He's only a temporary leader. As vice captain, I'm just looking out for the party. Captain Harvey, now visibly annoyed, glares at him and says, "Be quiet. You're disturbing Captain Tsuyoshi." Meanwhile, our protagonist ignores the entire conversation, completely focused on the task ahead. Suddenly, his divine eye displays a new notification. Analysis result. The boss home cannot be bypassed. Path to the next area is beyond it. Recommended strategy. One person distracts the monsters while the rest of the party moves ahead. Seeing this, our protagonist thinks, "I see. If that's the case, this might actually be easier than I thought." Moments later, a second notification appears. Swamp area. 300 square meters shallowest depth. 24 centimeters deepest depth. 126 centimeters average depth. 84 centimeters optimal route mapped. Average depth. Less than 40 centimeters fastest, shortest path, avoiding dangerous areas. Holding a tree branch in his hand, our protagonist smirks and thinks. Such precise analysis. It seems the divine eye's functions are proportional to my combat abilities. I've memorized the analysis result. Time to plan the route. He carefully prepares the route in his system, reviewing it again and again. Sometime later, our protagonist stands up and says, "As Vice Captain Luke said, this is a joint effort for mutual benefit. I'm just a temporary leader. So, if any of you are frustrated with me, feel free to leave. I won't stop you." Then, looking directly at Luke, he adds, "But since I am the leader and captain for now, follow my orders." Luke grits his teeth in frustration and mutters, "This guy," just because he knows a little about monsters. Captain Harvey cuts him off sharply. "Enough. Save it for later. After the quest, everyone just wants to get through this quickly." Luke clicks his tongue in irritation. This damn level 9 rookie." Our protagonist glances at Luke for a moment and thinks to himself, "In the past, my spirit might have been crushed by someone being so openly hostile." Then, memories of his original world flash through his mind, how he was treated before. No matter the world, there are always people who bully the weak or see others as threats. Such malice is innate, impossible to explain or avoid. I used to be a victim of this behavior, just like Karina and so many others. The only solution is to become stronger. But I am not the same Tsuyoshi as before. Standing up with confidence, he declares, "Enough pointless chatter. Looks like we have to cross the swamp to reach the next area." Harvey nods. "Yeah, I once got halfway through and saw the entrance to the path leading to the next area. To get there, we can't avoid attack from the darkness monsters hiding inside. They strike unpredictably. If things go wrong, we might have to use the return home function. In the worst case, we could all die here." Our protagonist walks toward the swamp and responds, "This is an unfamiliar and restrictive environment. It's definitely dangerous, but there's no need to worry." Harvey narrows his eyes. "Do you have a plan?" Our protagonist smirks slightly and says, "I'm going to stay behind and lure out the monsters while you lead everyone to the next area. I'll catch up with you guys later." Victor and Harvey are shocked. Victor exclaims, "You're going to lure all of them by yourself? That's way too dangerous." Harvey agrees. "I respect your strength, but this is reckless. We don't even know how many of them are in there. I can't approve of such a thoughtless plan." Luke suddenly bursts out laughing and sits on the ground. "Haha, I thought you had some kind of grand plan, but this is just pathetic. Anyone could come up with that. Fine, go ahead, but don't expect us to care if you end up dead." Ignoring him, our protagonist hands a map to Victor and says, "Victor, here's the optimal route. Memorize it so everyone stays out of the dangerous areas." Victor's eyes widen in shock. "What? How do you even know this route?" Holding his large sword, our protagonist states firmly, "Luring them away isn't the end of it. That's only the first step. I will defeat all the monsters myself. You guys go ahead. I'll catch up in no time." Then, looking back at them with sharp determination, he says, "I don't want to waste any time. Think about it. Have I ever done anything carelessly up to this point?" Silence fills the air for a moment. Then, Without waiting for a response, our protagonist strides toward the swamp, waving his hand. Get into formation and wait for my signal. As he steps into the swamp, a grin appears on his face. This is easier than I expected, but this kind of terrain. Looking down at the swamp, he thinks it's perfect for lightning-based attacks. Meanwhile, Luke and Harvey watch him. Luke scoffs and turns to Harvey. Captain, do you seriously trust him? A level 9 against a whole horde of darkness monsters. Harvey takes a deep breath and replies, I don't know. I honestly can't trust him. But that determination. Victor clenches his fists and says, I believe in him. His rank doesn't matter. Just follow his plan. He even gave us the best route. Standing in the swamp, our protagonist surveys his surroundings. 15 of them, he mutters. Normally, being surrounded by that many darkness monsters in a swamp would make anyone freeze in fear. Suddenly, a group of darkness soul ghoul monsters emerges out of nowhere. But instead of panicking, our protagonist readies himself as if he was expecting them to appear. At the same time, a new notification pops up. Their bodies are saturated with moisture, making them immune to fire attacks. Lightning-based attacks are highly effective. Their round bodies are vulnerable to precise damage. Seeing this, our protagonist grips his massive sword and smirks. Sorry for keeping you waiting. Come on out, you bastards. Without hesitation, he swings his sword, cutting down one monster after another. Then, suddenly, he holds his blade high, eyes locked on the creatures with a confident grin. So that's how it is. They're pitch black and hide in the swamp after every attack. He swings his sword again, striking the water. There's no way we can figure out their weak points if they keep hiding. But the moment his attack lands, all the monsters rise from the swamp, rushing toward him. Seeing them gathered together, he grins. Perfect, he thinks to himself. For most adventurers, being surrounded like this would be fatal. But with the ultimate physique, this shouldn't be a problem. Dashing between the monsters with incredible speed, he activates his skill. Harvey, lead the others through the route I showed you. Watching in awe, one of the party members gasps. He actually managed to lure out all the darkness monsters. Another chimes in, his agility is insane. How is he moving like that without getting stuck in the swamp? With Captain Tsuyoshi on our team, it feels like we could clear any quest. Is he really just a temporary leader? Victor turns to Luke with a smirk. See? I told you so. Do you believe me now? Luke wipes the sweat from his brow, looking embarrassed. I'll admit, I underestimated him. Meanwhile, Harvey regains his focus and shouts, Stop standing around. Let's move while Captain Tsuyoshi is still distracting them. Follow me. Victor takes charge. I'll guide us along the path. As they rush through the swamp, our protagonist stands alone before the horde, sword raised. This is the combat area. I'll handle everything here. Readying himself, he mutters, Piercing attacks work, right? Then let's add lightning to them. They won't stand a chance. With a powerful strike, he unleashes a lightning-infused piercing attack, tearing through the monsters. Seeing the damage, he grins. We got time. No need to rush. Meanwhile, the rest of the party reaches the other side of the swamp. We did it. We made it through. Another member shouts excitedly. We've never made it this far before. Every other party failed here. Harvey, still catching his breath, nods. We really made it through. Suddenly, Victor points ahead, shouting, reporting. The boss trigger point is just ahead. We've reached the boss area. Harvey, wide-eyed, responds, Seriously? Even the leader is surprised. Amazing. Victor grins. Yeah, and it doesn't even seem like a particularly tough boss. The swamp was probably the hardest part. Some of the members start getting restless. What are we waiting for? Shouldn't we head in? Another one agrees. Yeah, didn't Captain Tsuyoshi tell us to wait? Victory is right in front of us. A third adventurer joins in. We're not going to lose. Let's show Captain Tsuyoshi what we can do. But surprisingly, Luke raises his hand. No, let's calm down. We should wait for Captain Tsuyoshi. Everyone freezes in shock. Even Harvey stares at him. Luke, what brought this on? Luke coughs awkwardly. I doubted his strength, but it's thanks to him that we've made it this far. His power is undeniably impressive. Since we've reached the boss area, it's smarter to wait for Captain Tsuyoshi and go in together. Harvey and Victor exchange glances, both stunned. Harvey chuckles. Even you are convinced now? Fine. It's better to be safe than sorry. Let's wait for Captain Tsuyoshi. Victor smirks, placing his hands on his waist. Good call, Vice Captain. It's the safest choice. Suddenly, a familiar voice calls out from behind them. Were you guys waiting for me? They turn to see our protagonist stepping out of the swamp, completely unharmed. I've already dealt with all the darkness monsters. As he approaches, he slings his sword over his shoulder. The boss area is just up ahead, right? We can regroup here. Then, with a smirk, he adds, let's finish this hard mode quest. Seeing him standing there, completely unfazed, the entire team stares in awe. He really defeated all of them. By himself. He's way too strong. Even Luke mutters, who is Captain Tsuyoshi? I almost forgot he's only level 9. Victor nods. Honestly, I don't know much about him either. Harvey crosses his arms, looking at their leader with newfound respect. Once this quest is over, we have to recommend him to the guildmaster. Sometime later, the boss monster of Death Swamp reveals itself. A level 18 boss. Elemental weaknesses, fire, lightning, and magic attacks are highly effective. Traits, a sentinel of the swamp area. Skills, worm creation. Summons small stone creatures to hinder intruders' movement. Extremely high HP, doubled in hard mode compared to normal mode. Spray Swamp takes time to activate and can be interrupted with high-impact magic. Using items that cause poison or bleeding can help control the boss's HP. Preparing in advance can significantly lower the difficulty. Hidden in the bushes, our protagonist and Luke observe the boss. Our protagonist frowns. There's no boss gate? Is this really supposed to be hard mode? Luke replies, hard mode doesn't necessarily mean there will be a boss gate. The presence of a trigger point for a boss gate depends not on the overall quest difficulty, but on the boss's strength. He continues explaining, it's not unheard of. Even if a quest isn't that challenging, a strong boss may have a gate. Our protagonist thinks to himself as he studies the Swamp Watcher. I see. So the boss's strength is the key. The large one I saw in the Cardiolus Dark area must have been unique to Dark-type monsters. He stares at the boss's massive, eerie eye. For some reason, it gives me an overwhelming sense of dread. Luke, gripping his sword with excitement, says, let's head to the trigger point. Victory is right ahead, but our protagonist raises his hand. Wait. Luke, like an obedient puppy, stops immediately. Yes, Captain Tsuyoshi. Our protagonist calls out, Harvey, gather the magicians and agile members. Harvey nods. Got it. Victor's eyes sparkle with excitement. Do you have a plan? This is getting so good. Our protagonist nods. Listen carefully. Harvey, Luke, lead the warriors and fight as you normally do. Magicians will form pairs and prepare the strongest high-impact magic they can use. Cast it on my signal. He continues, gather the party's debuff items, anything that causes bleeding or poison, and distribute them evenly to the agile members. Luke and Victor's jaws drop. Debuff items? Tsuyoshi smirks. Yes, this boss is insanely high HP, and in hard mode, it's doubled. Using debuff items will make the fight much easier. Surround the boss with agile members and keep applying debuffs. It'll divide its attention and help manage its HP. He glances back at the rest of the group. Magicians, stay by my side and be ready to interrupt the boss's skills. Split into groups to account for cooldowns and stagger your casting. Harvey stares in awe. How do you even know all this? What a terrifying man. Luke, grinning ear to ear, says, see? I told you, with Captain Tsuyoshi leading us, we'll clear this quest easily. We can totally rely on him. Ignoring their praise, our protagonist steps forward, gripping his sword. All right, let's take down the boss in one go. Outside the portal, a crowd gathers, watching the portal where the party entered. Someone mutters, Big Goat went in with their young warrior. Another scoffs, and they're doing hard mode? Ridiculous. A werewolf beastman, resembling an Egyptian god, smirks mockingly. Yes, Big Goat took a human warrior as their leader. And after they entered, hard mode activated. They must have been tricked by that human. He sneers, they couldn't even clear normal mode. And now they're attempting hard mode? Huh, they'll probably use the recall horn to flee soon. His thoughts continue. Big Goat, a strange party of all humans under the Beastman Leader Q's guild. A human party in our Beastman territory? What a joke. They've stolen the glory for far too long. But when they panic and flee, I'll mock them in front of everyone. Inside the portal, the battle against the Swamp Watcher rages on. The party fights intensely, following Tsuyoshi strategy. Victor, feeling nervous, calls out, "Tsuyoshi, should we provide magic support?" But our protagonist calmly replies, "No, I know its attack patterns. Stay put and wait for my orders." Suddenly, the boss's body shifts, preparing for an attack. The party members instinctively back away, shocked. Seeing the change, our protagonist's eyes sharpen. Magician Group 2 attack with magic. The magicians launch a coordinated strike, bombarding the boss with high-impact spells, interrupting its skill activation. Luke, watching in awe, grips his sword. Did Captain Tsuyoshi foresee this too? The party members, now energized, rally together. At the front, Tsuyoshi stands firm, his massive sword resting on his shoulder. Hard mode ends now. 15 minutes later, the boss lies defeated, its massive corpse sprawled across the swamp. The party erupts into cheers. "We won. Unbelievable. We cleared it. First clear. We're the first to ever do it." Harvey, barely containing his excitement, mutters, "Clearing this quest in one try." Just who is Tsuyoshi? His expression hardens with determination. I have to introduce him to the guild leader. If he officially joins the guild, our achievements will skyrocket. Even Victor, unable to hold back, shouts, "We have to recommend him to the leader. He's not only incredibly strong, he can predict the quest objectives. With him on board, no quest or mission would ever be a challenge again." Meanwhile, our protagonist stands before the boss's corpse. Current level, 10 combat power. 45,000, he clenches his fist. Claiming all of the boss's experience points feels amazing. I've finally reached level 10. Just 2 more stages to reach my goal. I think I can do it. Suddenly, another notification pops up. Bonus, Black Armor Disguise set unlocked. Tsuyoshi's eyes widen. You get bonuses when you reach certain levels? Let's take a look. As he checks his inventory, his body is suddenly engulfed in a dark aura. A sleek, black armor forms over his shoulders. A highly flexible and practical set. Only those wearing the Ring of Infinite can possess it. Cannot be sold or traded. Features. The armor transforms based on the wearer's imagination, with the cape adapting as needed. Can be used alongside other armor sets. If another set is hidden, this armor will be displayed. After equipping the new armor, his combat power surges to 150,000. Tsuyoshi flexes his fingers, admiring the armor. Well, the Fox Beastman set is hidden. This armor appears instead. Looks like my body has changed too. His lips curl into a smirk. Does it adapt to my needs? I'll test it out next time. Victor took one look at Linha's new appearance and practically did a double take. Whoa, who is this handsome guy? Do we get a new party member? Linha, now clad in sleek, black armor, gave a gentle smile. "I just changed, my dear. That's all." Harvey and Luke, seeing Linha's transformation, were just as stunned. Luke let out a dramatic sigh. "If you'd shown up looking like that from the start, I wouldn't have called you weak." But Harvey, always the serious one, stepped forward. "Hey, Tsuyoshi, I need a favor." Linha turned to him, his expression calm. "What is it?" Meanwhile, outside the portal, the Beastman standing in front of the gate sneered, arms crossed. "Look, they're coming out. Come and see for yourself, the overconfident Big Goat party. Let's see them try to act tough now." But just then, a loud ding echoed in the air. Then another, then a third. Silence. The Beastman's smirk disappeared as he stared at the notifications, eyes wide. What? Is this real? They actually cleared hard mode. Just then, Linha and the rest of the party stepped confidently out of the portal. The crowd around the gate instantly erupted into murmurs. The black-armored human warrior. Was it him? Yes. Big Goat made him the leader, and they cleared it immediately. Incredible. This makes the rest of us look bad. Harvey, listening to the whispers, smirked and glanced at Linha. It's been a while since we've been surrounded like this. This is all thanks to you, Tsuyoshi. I promise. I'll take you to the guild and personally recommend you to the leader. Victor, practically buzzing with excitement, leaned close to Linha. Everyone's talking about you now. Linha, unfazed, simply crossed his arms and looked around confidently. This is only the second time something like this has happened since I came to this world. It's a bit strange. The beastman from earlier was completely frozen, his mouth opening and closing like a fish. His eyes darted to Linha, then back to the notification. He couldn't even muster an insult. Victor, still riding the high of their victory, smirked at the beastman. Oh, you're still here? Sorry, but Big Goat just secured the first clear in the record. The beastman jolted in panic, sweat dripping down his face. That's because you brought a strong person. Linha's expression darkened slightly as he turned toward him. A strong person? What did you say about me earlier? The beastman's face paled. He started sweating even more profusely. And my apologies. I was wrong. Please forgive me. Then, suddenly, he straightened up, eyes full of desperation. Would you consider joining our guild? Let's work together. Name any term you want. What should we call you? Internally, the beastman was panicking. This guy is no ordinary person. And just when our guild received an important high-level request, too, if his power is real, he'll be an incredible asset. But before Linha could even respond, the entire crowd lunged forward. Give me your contact info. My guild master wants to speak with you. Join our party. We'll reward you handsomely. The beastman from earlier growled, stepping in front of them. Hey, get in line. I asked him first. You all wait your turn behind me. Linha watched the chaotic scene unfold, a flicker of nostalgia passing through his mind. Even back in my world, talented people were always in high demand. Big guilds would fight over powerful heroes. If you're strong, you'll be wanted no matter where you go. Just then, Harvey stepped in front of him, arms spread wide. He's coming to our guild. Make way. The crowd hesitated as Linha, completely composed, strode confidently through the masses, walking toward his next destination. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this manhwa, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap that bell icon so you don't miss out. And remember, only true martial arts masters can hit that like button with a single strike. See you in the next one.